All right. How you getting on? Welcome. Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Hey girl, when you come to my house, I'm not going to give you directions, but you just ask around where the Pleasure Dome is and you'll find your way. You'll find your way. It's my little game. I'm doing a power play. Just follow the bloody Johnny trail. I'm going to leave Johnny's all the way to my gaff. What am I talking about? Just pick up every fucking Johnny on the way here. Remember being at Dollymount Strand, poking a Johnny, thinking it was a jellyfish. So, what is it? And I just thought, to be fair fucks to the lad. No, not fair fucks throwing away the Johnny. But, put the Johnny in a box. Put the box into your car. Put the car inside a bin. This is as good, whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't want to leave. I want to leave. Ha ha ha. Joke's on you, Leo. Ha ha ha. Yeah? Joke's on you, Leo. I actually love being at home, staying indoors the whole time. So, joke's on you. Ha 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 ha. Well, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm in a Fowler. You can call me bloody Liverpool striker who is celebrating a goal by snorting the white line, pretending that it's cocaine, but then getting in trouble and saying, actually, no, I'm a cow grazing. Robbie, I'm in a Fowler today. It's one of those days where I just feel, everyone feels a bit more tough. I'm starting about 5 tasks, and then it's annoying me that the other ones are... I'm starting 5 conversations with people about things via email or WhatsApp, and then I'm like, oh, shut up, I'm working over here. Even though I did it this way. You know? For whatever reason. I'm getting the Cab-Feev, babes. I'm getting the Cab-Feev. And I just feel... I feel low energy. I feel tired. And I'm not missing anyone. I don't miss anyone. I feel as connected to anyone as I do. Obviously, I'd love to see my dad. I'd love to, see my mum. I'd love to get a big cuddle off them. My brothers and sister. But I don't miss, I don't fucking miss anyone. If anything, I want everyone to leave me alone. I want to be left alone even more for some reason. I don't understand why. I want everyone to leave me alone even more. Tell you what I really want to do. I want to fucking... I know I said about the Chinese last time. It's one. You get one bite in it. You have one chicken ball dipped in a curry. You bite it. It's like harden. Hook it to me veins. Hook the curry to me veins. It's like harden. But after that, it's just... You have your Olympus Mons of Chinese. You have one bite. And then that's all. That's the good part. The rest of it is you just having your arms sting. And thinking and faking to your wife how great it is. Because you said, let's get this over falafel. Let's not get falafel. Let's get an Olympus Mons of Chinese. And I keep trying to leave the gaff to get a private takeaway. And I'm like, Terry, I'm just popping out for a bit. Oh, I'll come with you. All right. I just want to get in the fucking car, get a megabox, and eat it alone. Not that me and my wife are doing fine. I don't know what I want to do. I want to hurt myself alone. Don't ask me why. I think I'm depressed. Because I'm not looking after myself. It's me, Pagliacci. Fucking regurgitating what I was talking about last week. But this is it. This is the pod. We're going fucking raw. I am not editing this. I keep buying bread to make myself feel happy. I keep buying different types of bread. Going to the... Oh, Terry's going to get some bread. I'm coming back and get in... And the gluten's not good for me. I'm doing fine. All right? I'm the luckiest man in the world. I am, though, Gary. I am. There's kids outside playing hide and seek. There's one hiding spot and it's behind the pole. And no, I'm not talking about bloody John Paul II. This kid doesn't have a fucking clue where the kid is. She's behind the pole. He's checking behind the bush. A boy and a girl. Brother and sister? Whatever. I was out there on the road and I saw a man, I should say, walking down the road with his 3 sons. Like something out of a fairy tale. Not really, like whatever. He had 3 sons. And I thought to myself, bet you would have loved it, or how you getting on with your daughter there that you wanted that you didn't get? Are you a 3rd son or a 3rd daughter? Well, guess what, I should say. As soon as you came out the womb, you blimped it. You let your family down, right? You let them down. They didn't want you. The first thing you ever did was disappoint your family. They didn't want you. They might like you now, but they didn't want you. They were collecting their Premier League cards. It was have, need. They had the first 2 boys, have, you come along, have. I already have one of them. They wanted Premier League shiny number 1, and guess what? They got Gary Pallister again. I got 20 fucking Gary Pallisters. I wanted a daughter. I wanted to dance with my daughter on a wedding. What am I going to do, dance with you? I'm not doing well. I'm not, whatever. It is what it is. And that's the intro. That's the intro to the show. So here, let's see whatever. This is Tony Cantwell's Shit Show. It's Tony Cantwell's Shit Show. That the show is Tony Cantwell's Shit Show. And I know you. Hey, and I know you. You know me. I'm 1 and 1, and 1 makes 3. It's a 3-in-1. Can anyone just please get me a 3-in-1? What is wrong with me? I want to hurt myself, right? And I should just say, right, I do miss people, right? I do miss people. For whatever reason, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Maybe it's to do with I had 4 cans of Guinness last night. Poured perfectly. Right. I'm being chill. Hey. Look. We're a bunch of Fonzies in here, right? We're just going to be a bunch of Fonzies. I'm actually going to speak slow and calm for as long as I can. Let me tell you what happened this morning. I woke up, right, at a reasonable hour. I did my morning pages. I do this thing in the morning where I either try and write 3, shorthand pages on an A4 refill pad, right? Just brain dump, get everything out. Or I maybe, if I don't have a pen handy, I'll type it out. And I'll set like 30 minutes and I'll just type everything out and brain dump. And normally what I get out of that, it comes in 3 layers, like an onion. The first outer layer is all of the kind of like, this is what's annoying me. I write it like I'm writing an email to a friend. I'm like, hey, what's the story? So blah, 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 this pissed me off, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's annoying me that I have to do that. That's annoying, blah, blah, blah. So the first layer is basically unraveling all of the things that are bothering me in terms of just fog in my head that I need clear. Picture this. We were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom floor. Picture this. It's kind of like a way of it's like a beehive, and I'm just spraying a bit of smoke on that. Get them all to sit down, right? Whatever. Shut up. Shigs. Hey. Great example. Thank you. That's the first layer, right? That's the first part that comes out of it. The second thing that comes out of it in that is my to-dos, right? I find that by writing like that, I'm like, oh, and I also shit that I need to do that, and shit I need to do that, and blah, blah, blah. I then compile that, take away all the shits, and then I have a kind of a list of all the stuff I'm supposed to do. After that tends to come a couple of lols, couple of jokes, couple of solid gold tweets that keep me, that keep this lad in megaboxes, right? But this morning, for whatever reason, everything I was writing was, I don't want, and I don't like, and I don't, It was a bunch of bloody... What's that noise? I don't know. It was very negative. It was written from the perspective of a bloody child, right? I don't want this, I don't want that. And that's what kind of followed me into the start of this, all right? So I do miss people, right? I do miss my friends. I do miss my family. I miss hanging out with people. I'm just acting out, right? I'm just acting out. And for whatever reason, I just keep fantasizing about driving out in the car to whatever Chinese is open, saying, boss man, fill up whatever you have in the bin, put it in a pizza box, and leave it outside. Leave it in the gutter. Let me eat it in the gutter. For whatever reason, I just want to scoff my weight in megabox in my car, listening to some Curtis Steiger with some steamy windows. And I have been a little pig. I mean, I haven't actually been that bit much of a pig, to be perfectly honest. We didn't have any takeaway apart from one that we got for free on Friday. Don't know if you saw it, did a bit of Spawn Con. When you think about takeaways as much as I do, sometimes, art will, manifest life, whatever. Art will manifest life, you know the saying. And I did a bit of Spawn Con for Just Eat. Who got in touch, asked if I had any ideas. I said, I got a great idea. How about I do exactly what I'm doing now with footballers, footy chants, and I do it for takeaways? And they were like, unreal. And how about, this is what they said, we pay for your lunch. How about we get you a takeaway, a little voucher, so you can kind of show one of the takeaways, maybe give them a bit of a nod as well. I said, great. You're paying, I'm getting Elephant and Castle. And what I did was, and I haven't ever got an Elephant and Castle before. I heard it's good. I heard the wings are great, right? Ordered, got everything, right? But I did that thing. I don't know what's fucking wrong with me, right? I did this thing where I do it all the time, where I act like my fucking finger slipped and I order more. I order too much. Or I act, oh my God, they gave us 2 punnets of chicken wings, family size rather. They gave us about 50 wings. Oh, there must have been a mistake. Oh my God. Something must have happened. And Terry's like, what? Wow, that's crazy. That's the 3rd incorrect order in our favor this week. I know. Oh my God. I don't know why, I just kind of, anyway, whatever. So I haven't been that much of a pig, right? And the wings, I give them 5 stars. I give them 4 stars, right? I give them 4 stars, right? And I tell you what, I give them 1 star against a quality London boss man wing. Just give me the boss. Just give me, and even the worst wing, even the London chicken shop wing, where you go in there, it's the cheapest shit they have. The chicken has been left under a heat lamp for 5 days. The skin is like a leather gel that is stuck to your teeth. Just give me that. That's what I want. I used to hit up this place, Dixie Chicken, in London, right? Go in there. I got on pretty well with the manager, Mo, right? I go in there and he'd be like, what's up, boss man? I'm like, no, you're the boss man. I'm sure we had many talks about how, hey, no, look, Irish and Turkish people are actually, they're actually so similar, We're just so similar. We're just not English. And I used to go in there, get my order of £6 worth of chicken. That's the Tony specialty. And then I'd go into KFC and I'd get the gravy, right? That's a little life hack for you. You get the cheap chicken and you can't even tell there's any difference when you get the gravy. So that's what I do. I go to Dixie. I'd say, hey, boss man, give me the Tony special, £6 worth of chicken. And then up the road was KFC. I'd go in there, get the gravy. Although one day I was going the other way around. Would have been passing KFC first. I was like, right, I'll just go in here first. I'll get myself the gravy, and then I'll pick up the chicken, right? I went in there. I said, hi, can I have a little thing of gravy, please? The woman's like, so you just want gravy? I said, yeah, just one thing of gravy, please. And she goes, okay. And she went to the back, and she came back with a little tub of gravy, and she put a little spoon on it. She thought I was just going to sit there eating gravy with a spoon. I looked like the sort of guy Let me tell you about this motherfucker. This motherfucker looks like a sort of fella who'd sit in KFC eating gravy with a spoon. Well, apparently I did. And she gave it to me. And I would. And don't you tell me that when you've ordered hillbillies, you haven't had a little slice sup of the little gravy. When you run out of things to dip, don't tell me you didn't have a little sup. Give a little sup. Will you give us a lift of cholesterol? I just had a little sup. A little sup of the gravy. Right? So don't pass judgment on me. What am I talking about? So look, I'm going to try and hold fast, stand firm, and not go out in the car and have a Chinese affair. All right? I'm going to try. I'll let you know how I get on. Speaking of bloody Chinese, they're getting it from everywhere. They're getting it from the quote-unquote West, yeah? That bloody mop, as I call them, in Downing Street. Letting them have it. Yeah? Hey, someone get the mop. No, I'm not talking about the one in the bloody janitor's closet. I'm talking about Boris. Boris Johnson, more like the mop, as I keep saying. Between him and the bloody Tommy Pickles in the White House, or as I like to call it, the Playhouse. There's a bloody baby in there. Tommy Pickles in the White House, or as I like to call him, President Dump, because he did a poo pee pee in his nappy. This cunt. Between the two of them, yeah, it's all China. Yeah, they're like. Tell you what they're like. They're like me. They're like me in 5th year, finding out that there's a test, knowing that there's a test, but just not having prepared for it. So I didn't know. What? Corona what? I didn't know. So it's China's fault. It's fucking China's fault. I didn't know. He started. A bit of a copy there. Look, although, you know, why you selling pangolins? They're endangered. And from what I saw, from something I barely looked into, the wet markets selling these animals weren't bloody. I mean, it's, you're not supposed to be selling this wildlife farming. You're not supposed to be selling pangolins. You're not supposed to be selling bats. And then this happened with SARS. Then they put the fucking clamp down on it, and then they lifted it again when they started making loads of money from it. So, you know, it's just a crazy thing. It's just a crazy thing. Still haven't watched Contagion. Everyone's like, you gotta watch Contagion, man. It's like seeing Everton outside, but worse. Sounds class. Sounds really good. And look, I'm not talking politics here, right? I'm not talking politics. I'm not talking conspiracies. I tell you, I had pretty much all of the conspiracy theories in my head dispelled by one thing that Terry said the other day. We were walking around, and I said, exercising within 2 kilometers. Jesus, Gardy. Get off me back. We were exercising within 2 kilometers of our home. And I said to Terry, mad how Iran, wasn't it, was one of the first to be really hurt by the coronavirus. And I said, I wonder if, you know, between China and Iran, both arguably targets or potential targets for America, you know, I wonder if maybe there was, you know, I was trying to be in a little bit of nudge, nudge, wink, wink, a bit of a conspiracy theory here. And then Terry said, have you Googled anything that would be contrary to what you just said? Have you Googled anything that might explain why Iran was so affected by the coronavirus? I was like, no, but I got a feeling. And I'm terrible for it. I don't believe most of it. I don't believe most of the conspiracies. But because I'm so dumb, right? Because I'm so dumb and I don't want to read big, massive articles that would tell me exactly how and why that was fact-checked and, you know, that was fact-checked and fact-checked over and over by various people to ensure that every bit of information that I'm reading is not biased, leads anyone down, you know, a corridor of misinformation, was double-checked. Because I won't bother my arse reading that, I need to be like, well, actually, I heard something different. Well, actually, I heard that there was Americans in Wuhan at some sort of army festival, and they fucking ate a pangolin, and they launched. Then they created a coronavirus. So because I'm too fucking lazy to read something that was actually written by professionals who are really doing the Lord's work in this era of misinformation, because I'm so lazy that I won't read that, I need to have the power of having information over other people, and I'm like, well, actually, I read something else, so that's not true. I don't Google anything, but I still love it. Like, the moon is a base. Well, apparently there was an echo heard by the moonlander that would only indicate that this is a hollow base. Like, I don't Google anything that might dispel. I love hearing something that I can't believe, and I know that if I Google it, it's going to take it away from me, so I don't Google it. But yet, I'm not, Of course, they didn't fucking start coronavirus. What, they launched coronavirus? Here's another one I heard, right? So I heard this bloody coronavirus. So you know the way Tom Hanks apparently had corona? Yeah, apparently it's because he is a paedophile. And him and Idris Elba and all the other lads and Prince Boris and Prince Charles and all them, they're all paedophiles. And I've been told that they got coronavirus because they've actually in real life been arrested. And it's the only way to explain how they're not in the public eye. That's what I read on Reddit. I read that Tom Hanks is an addict of a thing called adrenochrome, right? Adrenochrome is kind of like, from what I read, the opposite of DMT. So DMT is... I haven't got DMT. DMT, if you know anything about Joe Rogan or anyone who's mad into the psychedelics, apparently DMT is a smokable form of a chemical compound that is secreted by your perineal gland, what they call the third eye, and you get it when you dream. You get it just moments before you die, and it's in ayahuasca. You ever hear people going off to Peru? Is it Peru? I think it's Peru. Going off to the jungles, drinking this kind of tea from this plant. Because apparently DMT is in everything. It's even in grass. But there are enzymes in our body that break it down. So you have to have this kind of like pre-DMT tea, where it makes everything that comes after you accessible through your liver, your stomach, and all this stuff. Anyway, so DMT is like this. You smoke it, and you apparently go into these crazy interdimensional seeing. Some people see. Actually, I read this. I heard this podcast. Simon Amstel, right? Remember from what's it called? Never mind. The Buzzcocks, right? And he said that he did DMT. He went and did ayahuasca, right? And I'll come back to adrenochrome, but I'm explaining about DMT. He went to a shaman, Mr. Loverman. Shaman. He went to a shaman, and he did ayahuasca. And apparently, it takes you on. People do it as a kind of religious experience. I've known people who've done it, and they see something from deep inside, possibly inside, or they go to a different dimension, but they come away with some sort of knowledge about themselves. And people seem forever changed by their experience. But Simon Amstel said that he did ayahuasca, and he kept hearing this voice, kind of like fucking Good Will Hunting. I don't remember what podcast it was. Maybe it was WTF, Mark Maron, possibly. But he said he did it, and he kept hearing this voice that was like, "It's not your fault. You were just a baby. You were just a baby." And he was like, "What?" And this voice just kept saying, "It's not your fault. You were just a baby. You were just a baby." And he doesn't go into a lot of detail, but he said that after that, he's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "I'll show you. You were just a baby." And this cosmic force, through this DMT experience, brought him, possibly it was a jaguar. People see jaguars a lot. But anyway, he said, "What do you mean?" And this force basically repainted this picture, this dormant memory that he hadn't obviously remembered until now, that was of some domestic abuse between his family, where he wasn't able to protect his mother. And he said that this was probably the single biggest change in his life. That after this, he didn't even know he was carrying this guilt, but it was released. He forgave himself as a baby in this experience, and he said that even it changed so much that even his posture changed. And funnily enough, after that, he started then doing more stand-up, a bit more personal. He was talking about being gay. He was talking about various other aspects of his personal life that he actually hadn't really talked about. Now, any stand-up knows that when you run out of observations, you have to start focusing on stuff. I mean, look, this is the fucking podcast. Literally, I'm here in the morning being like, what can I talk about? Can I talk about when I was 3? What do I have from when I was 3? Running out of stuff to say. You start focusing inwards. So anyway, that's DMT. So from what I've looked up about this adrenochrome, it's kind of the opposite of DMT, where DMT is when you're sleeping or you're about to die. This is when it secretes in your brain, and that's why potentially we kind of have these kind of flashes and images and kind of see crazy stuff. Adrenochrome is secreted when you're under severe stress. So the conspiracy theory is that there is a group of adrenochrome junkies, right? The Illuminati are torturing people to drain them of their adrenochrome so that they can get off on it and kind of this acid trip. The actual drug, there is actually a drug, adrenochrome, and apparently it's like taking acid from. I don't really understand all these chemical compounds or what a lot of the terminology means, but apparently it's like taking acid. But apparently when you take acid, I've never taken it, you kind of lose association with things. So you kind of like why you see people, I don't know if you ever see in like movies, you see people like looking at their hand and they can't stop laughing at their hand or a spoon. It's because when we look at these things like a hand or a spoon, we know what they are. We know that they're attached to us. We know what they do, well, not spoons. Oh, that's your bloody Edward Spoony hand no, but we know what they are, but you kind of forget what these things are. Actually, what am I going into? There's a TED Talk that I saw about a woman who had a stroke and she forgot what things were, and she said it was she completely forgot this kind of, was just completely present because she had the part of her brain, subconsciously we look at a tree and we can tap into pretty much any memory we have about a tree, right? But if you forget what a tree is, you just get to fucking look at what a fucking tree is, and you're like enamored and blown away by a tree. And similarly with your hands and stuff like that. So basically, this adrenochrome is like acid, but you remember what things are, which means that you can kind of act still cognizant, except you're seeing crazy colors and getting kind of euphoric buzz. So apparently, all the big name Hollywood players are on the adrenochrome buzz, and there are rings. There are rings of torture rings, so that they can, because they're junkies. And also, here's the other thing: apparently, humans can't take that much adrenochrome, leading to the conspiracy that these are aliens. Now, look, I love a juicy conspiracy like Illuminati, the Queen is a lizard. I don't know if I've explained that. I've explained that in my previous podcast. If you want me to go into that in a future podcast, you can certainly, I could do a whole podcast on that, right? I don't believe it, but as I've told you, in a previous pod, remember the one about dragons? Remember the one where I said that Meghan and Harry and Meghan, that's the order you have to say it, were fleeing the royal family because of dragons. Well, you have to listen to my dragon episode. But look, I love hearing a juicy conspiracy, and I realized when Terry said that to me, it was like, I'm into this. I am into conspiracy theories purely out of laziness, right? Well, no, there's two parts of it. One, if something says juice, if something's, look, I get the appeal, right? It's secret. It's not as all as is what it seems. There's elements of magic. I'm into the ones that involve kind of magic, right? magic and aliens and stuff like that. These are the ones that I'm into, right? So it has its appeal. But a part of the appeal I've realized is the fact that if I know the conspiracy theory, there's potentially that I know a truth that the general public don't know. And there's power in that. Or at least, anecdotal power. At least there's something interesting I can say. Well, you know, I know you heard that. I'm not into politics, but I did hear that Tom Hanks is an adrenochrome junkie. So, hey, I don't know what's happening in Hungary right now, right? I don't know about that dictatorship, but I do know for a fact that Tom Hanks is a vampire. So, you be the judge. I'll tell you the ones I do believe, right? I don't believe. No, should I? No, I'm not going to answer that. But I just acknowledge the fact. I did acknowledge the fact that when I find something out like this, I don't Google anything on the contrary, right? I do believe. Tell you what I believe, right? I believe that there are a few multi-billionaire families that probably have more power than the people that we see running things, right? Do I think they're pulling strings? I don't know. Do I feel like there's an agenda being seen? Probably not, right? But I do believe that there are, like, people talk about like Bezos, right? And they talk about Gates and all these people, Garrett Gates and Jeff Bezos, right? If I was a billionaire, trillionaire, first thing I'm buying is anonymity. You will never hear about me. And I believe that's the case. I think there's some, like, I couldn't even believe it going down. You can go to fucking Carlo and there's millionaire Irish people who have an English accent. Like, in a world where West Brits actually exist, then anything's possible, you know? So, those billionaires, yeah, the big name families, first thing they're going to buy is anonymity. So I believe there's very rich people who do have an effect on what happens in the world. I don't think that they send a memo to the president or anything like that. I don't think that there's even a plan. David Icke would have you believe that the plan is that there's an Illuminati, they're interdimensional alien reptilian hybrids, who are controlling the world governments and the media to create fear, because from the dimension that they live, they are essentially powered by fear, and things like posters going up of showing women in bikinis makes you feel sad, and that's part of it. Makes people feel like, oh, they're not fit enough, they're sad. That war and news and everything all like that is orchestrated by these select few. I don't believe that. Do I believe that a very, very, very rich American who likes guns might have an effect as to the legality of guns in the country? Yeah, I do believe that. Do I believe that a government has the possibility of... Do I believe... Well, it's been proven. It's been proven where you have the Gulf of Tonkin. I don't even know much more about that other than the name, but I believe it's when they staged an attack to go to war with Vietnam. Let me look into that right now. Gulf of Tonkin incident, also known as the USS Maddox incident, was an international confrontation that led to the United States engaging more directly in the Vietnam War. It involved one real and one falsely claimed confrontation between ships of North Vietnam and the United States in the waters of the Gulf of Tonkin. The original report blamed North Vietnam for both incidents, but the Pentagon Papers and memoirs of Robert McNamara and NSA publications from 2005 proved material misrepresentation by the US government to justify a war against Vietnam. So, could that have happened other times, you know? Isn't it a bit mad how a couple of planes full of Saudi Arabians led to an invasion of Afghanistan? You know what I mean? Now, having said that, I've not read a single thing about 9/11. I have not read a single article about what the official story of 9/11 is at all. So, you know, I couldn't even tell you what I believe. I haven't read anything about it. I haven't read anything about it. I'm just a fucking contrarian. You know? Like there could be an answer for that. But I haven't looked into it. You know, although you kind of see what between Weinstein and Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Harvey Weinstein. People covered up for Harvey Weinstein. People probably knew. People definitely knew. And Jeffrey Epstein, 100% people knew. People were paid to know and to cover it up. Bill Clinton's flying fucking 30 times on a jet with you know. Look, this is not a conspiracy theory podcast. I'm just saying, right? How is it that in me trying to say how I don't believe in most conspiracy theories, I've now outlined exactly what I... Fucking hell. There's probably people... It's not even funny. There are probably people who are very rich, who are taking advantage of people, and there's loads of people covering it up. Whatever capacity that is, are they draining them of adrenochrome? Probably not. Are the people who are doing that aliens? Again, probably not. But let's not rule that now. I'm going to talk about something different now. Here's a conspiracy theory I heard firsthand. Not even conspiracy theory. Salacious Illuminati story, right? I used to work with this guy, right? This guy, he's a bit of a partier, right? Goes out with a couple of movers and shakers. And I tell you, this is just testament, right? Is to what kind of... The scope at which fucked up Illuminati parties can happen is... I noticed for sure, the lads who I used to work with, the ones who went to fucking public school, as it's called over there in the UK, which is essentially private school, were the ones who were going to the weirder parties that were invite only, you know. They didn't bring me to their cool parties, so they're in the fucking Illuminati, right? All these like fucking sex kitten parties and stuff. It's all happening in London, right? All these crazy parties that you're not going to find on Facebook events where us, the plebs, are going for all of our parties, right? So one of the guys told me this. He said, and I genuinely had a little pang there thinking, am I giving that away? But it's, when you hear this, you're going to think, I think you're safe there, Tony, right? He told me that, and he used to hang out with all these crazy people, crazy partiers. And he said, late one, like after hours, right? He went, his mate was like, right, come on, I'm going to bring you to this. I'm going to bring you to this members only party, right? I'm going to bring you this members only party. Don't fucking tell anyone that you're coming. He said, I'll never tell anyone, especially not my pal Tony, who's going to say it on his podcast, right? So he goes down to, I'm not going to give away the exact location, just in case it's true. But he said he went down to the Docklands, right, in London. And he went out to the wharf where all of the ships, the little yachts and stuff were. And he's like, oh, wow, it's going to be a yacht party. Your man's like, nope. They went up to this little dock, right? And there was 3 yachts, right? 2 of them on either side were bobbing up and down with the water. One of them was staying still, right? Wasn't moving at all. He's like, right, in this one. This guy brings him down. Flights and flights of stairs. And I was like, what's going on, man? What's going on? We're under a fucking yacht. What, are we under the ground here? We need a fucking aquarium. He's like, come on. It'll be worth it, right? Brings him down. Starts hearing the faint sound of music. Opens the door, and it's a fucking rager. Like something out of Blade, right? People dancing, lights, young, hot, attractive people. People riding, right? And then he said, the thing that shocked him, he said it genuinely frightened him to the core. He said, mate, when I got in the door, you wouldn't believe what was serving the drinks. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, like, who was serving the drinks? And it's like, nah, mate, what was serving the drinks? It was like a primate, but I've never seen it before. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Mate, honestly, I know my animals. I have never seen this animal before. It was serving the drinks. Oh, what do they have? What the fucking animals do they have serving these drinks? And I was like, what was it, like a chimp? I was like, I can't even describe it, mate. But it wasn't human. They were all serving the drinks. That's the shit that I love. That's the shit that I believe. Bring me to your fucking Illuminati primate parties. That's what I want. Anyway, I'm going to move on. What else? What else we talk about? So, I was going to talk politics. I don't want to talk politics, but I will say this. Who's having this fucking conversation? No one, Tony, no one is making you do anything here. All of life is a choice. I'm getting a bit of Cab-Feev. I'm not going to lie. Joke's on you, Leo. Ha ha ha. I love being at home. It's mad how things change. Literally, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, Leo, the Tish. T-shock, more like Tish off. Get out of here. And then he holds the press conference in Washington. You're like, all right, that's pretty cool. And you're like, oh, and he closes the pubs and the restaurants before anyone else. Before the UK, right? Cancels all these events. So that I was listening to the Blind Boy podcast there. And he had to cancel an event in London. Serious amount of money. But because Boris Johnson had announced to cancel things, he had to take the hit on it. Down thousands, right? All of my tour, things like that. Leo said, look, you got to cancel. So it's not on me. It's not on me to cancel those. So he cancels all them. You're like, all right, that's pretty cool. Then he has that, that Friday night one. And he's on like, hey, look, just letting you know, you have to stay indoors. We're going to do a lockdown. Just please don't travel more than 2 kilometers from your house. We need to flatten the curve. And he's very empathetic about it. Speaks about it from a health perspective of his family and his partner. And you're like, all right, that's pretty cool. And then what does he go and fucking do? Becomes a fucking doctor again. Daddy, I forgot why I don't like you. I forgot because I'm stupid. I'm the part of brain that gets people like fucking Tommy Pickles in the Playhouse elected because I can only see what's there in front of me. I'm stupid. I can't remember what Mary Lou McDonald does. I don't remember what she did. I don't remember why. I don't remember what it was she was saying. I mean, I'm sure if I gave myself a second to think about it, I would. But now I'm like, Leo, what Leo's going now? But he was so nice over that whole, when we were all scared. This is what happens. It's whoever's in power during a scary time. We're like, oh, hey. But where's Mary Lou been and all this, huh? Probably chatting to the huh? Well, weird how she just disappears. She becomes seriously ill. She's not around. And I'm like, yeah, where the fuck were you? Yeah, leave it to the lad who's 1 foot out the door. So I am stupid. But it's mad how things change. Literally weeks ago, I was like, get Leo out. I will do anything to get Fine Gael out. And now I'm like, I kind of like seeing him pop up every so often, tell me what to do. Look, butchered the health. Well, I don't know if he butchered it, but he didn't do a very good job while he was in power. Had a massive fucking housing crisis. Not great, but I like seeing him on the telly. Makes me feel good. Yeah, Mary Lou, Mary, where were you? Mary who, McDonald? I haven't seen you with my eyes in a couple of days, so I completely forgot. What, Brexit? You're telling me the UK want away from us? Well, we're not going to fucking let that happen. Don't let them near us if they have it. Don't let anyone from up north come down if they have it. It's batshit insane. Or should I say, bat soup insane. Apparently, America made a bat soup that was so tasty that the Chinese got corona. Look, if I'm talking fucking Sinn Féin and Varadkar, it is because I've officially run out of things to say. So thank you very much for your patience. I think there was some good stuff in there. Told you a little conspiracy about the primates serving drinks. I told you about 3 brothers, one of them not being a girl. There's been some good stuff. Just remember that. But I think I need to bring a fucking song. Write a song or a rap or something for next week. Because just something to shake it up. If you would like to listen to more of this podcast, you can do so over at the bonus Cantwell Shit Show. The bonus podcast over the Patreon. Where I have discussed so far my top 5 emo songs of all time, as well as my history as a rock and roller in the Temple Mar Music Center. As well as that, I did a play-by-play of WrestleMania 17, the greatest WrestleMania of all time, 2-hour special over there, if you do like that sort of thing, on the Patreon. And this Friday will be a Q&A podcast, as well as during this week, in the middle of the week, possibly tomorrow or the next day, a RuPaul breakdown. I've decided to go for all the niche stuff that not everyone would listen to, but only a select few might. over on the Patreon. So you can check it out there. If you would like to buy me a cup of coffee or equivalent of a pint a month, you can do so and get all of that gorgeous content. And guys, just thank you very much. You, as much as I've been fucking moping around all day today, I am still so unbelievably grateful that in a pandemic, this gets to be my job. And that we still have a gorgeous community of people sending me fucking videos of themselves with pillows on their heads and their dogs walking around set to Goldust's theme from that Messiah video. So thank you very much for that. I love you very much. And I'll see you next week. Hey.